Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Disco Elysium, and we're in a dark, dank corridor, because we're exploring the back of the bookshop, which is all of the buildings that no longer are functioning. There was something there. What did I see? Wind howls from the coal chute above. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. I guess this is the fridge, right?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim, it's the fridge, remember?
Of course. A giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Just what we were looking for. Let's see what's inside.
Look inside the refrigerator.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
This is clearly the fridge. It looks big enough for two quarters.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected, and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
I'm not sure I believe you.
Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This does not leave this room.
We did our best with the means at our disposal.
Did we, though? Okay, maybe we did. At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in here.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge or the decomposing body in it. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Even under this stench, you can feel it.
So I could level up my perception to try and do another roll at this, right? What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
So they tried to sell ice cream from these hyper-carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day. The electricity bill must be catastrophic. On the other hand, it did help us with a certain corpse situation.
Lucky us.
I'm gonna level up my perception first. I mean, I can't even, so there's no point. But also, interestingly, I should try this. It's a white check, right? So I can try the check, and if I fail, I can level up and then try it again, I think. So let's try this. Nope.
You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Cool. Alright. There's a hidden doorway here. Two rusty rifles hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
I think that sound was my Discord, by the way, beeping. I apologize. I forgot to turn off notifications. Okay, I do. Look inside.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this mean, a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Interesting. I got an achievement for that, apparently. So did I take that rifle? I did indeed. I guess it's actually not worth that much. It's only worth $3.90 apparently. Handwritten note from the fridge.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
I wonder who wrote that note.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the Ice Bear fridge.
Interesting. Particularly interesting because I think I already saw it, right? Wasn't this the ice cream maker? Let's see, shall we?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Try to crack them in the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Yeah, I figured that.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
It's a heroic check. Interesting. Better grip with gloves. So that's something, I guess.
The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge.
What is this?
You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open.
Where do we get one?
I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
A mesh tank top. And intercom wires. I don't want to leave yet. And that'll take me out. I assume out to the main building, right? What's this? Coal?
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
What is this thing? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs, the echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Smear your hands with coal. I don't know
A
why I
lush
do that.
layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid.
Yell hello into the furnace.
You muster all your strength and yell. Your dehydrated, hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak.
Kind of a yell.
A lifetime of smoking and drinking will do that to you. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there. Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
Kick it with your foot.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
I have a better chance now because I kicked to the furnace. That's kind of hilarious. Sure, go for it.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
This is the police. Who's there?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Nice. Fantastic. I love the fact that kicking it made it work. Like, kicking it gave me the anger and pain enough that I could yell out. Wow. Interesting. Tray full of dice. Colourful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. She's still working. The candy dispenser has been repurposed and contains thousands of dice. Interesting.
Hello. I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
What do you mean by Milius?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
I like that. It's somewhat childish, but it's like the first thing that everybody learns in another language is, how do I count to 10 and how do I swear? You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
I'm not interested in buying dice right now. I'm a police officer. I need to ask some questions.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then?
No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
Where are we anyway?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repaired, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
How'd you explain what happened with all these companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plaisance, the one who sent me, she can convince the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
You're right, the whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
You also have no overhead, you're not paying rent.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I'll be the first to admit that there's many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
I'm starting to say that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring.
Generally.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Interesting. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts.
Yeah, generally.
They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I don't really have many opinions on hairstyles, yeah, not
Me
really.
neither. I just want it off my face.
That's exactly what I'm like as well. My hair grows until it gets into my eyes when I'm driving, and then I go get it cut. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Who's Artemetip?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kudo needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno. Who's Kuno?
He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did the community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
Interesting. So I suppose... I mean, that is, I guess, the downside of doing a boxing club. You tend to attract the people who like violence. What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieu. Who would have guessed?
That's weird.
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
What's a snuff milieu? I assume it's like a snuff film, right? It's like a film of a death. So a snuff milieu would be like... You record the dying of someone and then put it over the two-way radio? I don't know.
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Did someone make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
Fair enough. Found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
What? Insect rights activists? What the name of...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket.
Okay. I mean, making fashion out of chitin... I mean, I guess... Like, you just need so many beetles to be able to make, like, one thing. But at the same time, you can breed beetles very fast, so I guess,
And,
I don't know.
naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in Kyton from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
They got what they deserved. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea.
At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
A smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them?
I've had a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Their scope was too big is the problem, I think, but what went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen from so far of the project, it did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on.
Yeah, they just didn't have enough money to cover their costs because their grand designs were too grand for the money that they had to do it.
In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And to show up to work on time.
Alright, okay, so they weren't entirely diligent either. They should have just tried harder. They had everything they needed to succeed. They probably did, if they were more...
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
She tosses a pair of dice at the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else?
There's a terrifying taxidermy bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a grand stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
Not a bad idea.
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Right. Fritte does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritter as a cashier, and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravenshaw ICT.
Interesting.
And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravenshaw ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Marketing doing its job.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
I mean... It's a big fucking bear. I think Megatherian...
Sounds cool.
I think Megatherian was a... giant sloth? A prehistoric sloth, I think? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Megatherian?
Megatherian. A mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I don't ever comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
The doorbell with the empty name card was yours.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
A strange thing happened when I tried calling the company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
She said she was from Tricentennial Electric.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
Might have been some sort of rare electrical anomaly.
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
I saw her name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, fluorography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Pinball is timeless, I will have you know, woman.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
I was wondering about the William Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Actually, I had other questions.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
What do you know about a man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
And you never took your eyes off to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Why hasn't your business failed?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Leave it at that.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief, the tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Indeed. I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Just a normal die for me, please. Very regular.
A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal dice.
What do you do then?
Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bows. Come on now. Be a little creative.
I'm looking for something to help me with my work.
I think I have just the right one for you.
She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue, are created in her palm.
Police colors.
Because I'm a police officer, right?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it.
Catch the die. And fail, probably.
You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue one disappears down the pit in the center of the room.
Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary.
Pick up the red die.
That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken. It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. And you'll definitely need luck in Martinez. Now, was there anything else?
Alright. So it fell down the pit in the center of the floor. I know where that pit leads. I'm gonna go see if I can find it. I can't remember where I go. Down here, right? Door up here. It's fine. I'm not dumb. I remember where I'm going. That's going to be the end of this episode. It ended up being a long one again. So like another 40 minutes. But before we leave, I want to see if I can get my other die.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice, the echo is so prominent.
What are you doing? Wait, really?
Interesting that it repeats that. The game is pretty good generally of not repeating things like that. It's a pretty cool dice. But now we're here, let's go out this last door that we've found and see whether or not this takes us outside, which is my suspicion. It does indeed. So I can now go into this door when I need. Cool. So it's 10:30. Let me just check my journal. Report back to Plaisance with your findings. I need to meet this guy after 9, so we can go and do that, I suppose. That's the next thing I'm going to do. But we can do that next time. So if you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time. Well, we're going to go talk to this guy, I suppose.